Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I'm really hot, so I apologise if I sweat. It is 32 degrees in London and there's no air conditioning, so you know, I'm human. So I just posted my Elderado vlog. I know I've been very slow with these things, but my life is crazy at the moment and I'm just uploading whenever I can. However, today we're going to get into the review for Elderado 2019. Yes, Elderado is a relatively new festival. It started in 2016 by Cirque du Sol, who are a group of people that arrange events, and like electronic events mainly, in around the whole of the UK. They then created Elderado, the festival, which I started getting interested in when I had been to Boomtown and several other festivals, and basically for me it was just getting a bit too crazy and mainstream and I needed to try something different. I've been to Boomtown for 4 years. I was like, enough is enough. Not today, but we're going to go to a new festival today. So I was like, cool, let's go Elderado. There shouldn't be a crazy crowd. It should be nice. There's good music playing, like everything that I love. Disco house, which is my main genre of music that I listen to. So I was all for it. Anyway, let's get into the logistics before I sweat anymore and die. Getting to the festival was relatively easy. I mean, we drove all the way there. It isn't that close to London. I thought it was going to be really near, but it's in Herefordshire, which is near Wales actually. So we drove quite a bit, maybe like 3 hours. It is in the most beautiful place ever. It's on top of this huge hill. I actually thought it was a mountain when we were driving there because I don't really see like mountains in London or hills. So I was like, oh look, it's a mountain, but no, it was just a very big hill. And on top of that was Elderado. Yeah, it was relatively easy getting in, although I feel like they could have done a bit better of signposting the festival because it was a little bit tricky for us to find it. But nevertheless, we got there, we got in pretty damn quick. Like with me, I had asked for a disability pass because of my issues that I have. So I got to go straight in, but I mean, it didn't look like crazy to get in. It's a very small festival, so there's only one camping area, which means that there's not as many people, which for me, that's great because I'm an old fart these days and I like to have space to dance. That was 10 out of 10 for me because that is the worst part of a festival, lugging all that stuff. It was an extremely hot day as well. We were sweating even just going up that hill to put up our stuff, but like we got in pretty quickly, so good for that one. Festival setup and aesthetic. Once we got in, we wanted to explore, and once we put up our tent, we wanted to explore and everything. So we literally had to just go down the hill on the other side, and there you saw like these swings with Elderado on it, and it was really cute. Although if you saw my vlog, yeah, it's not exactly the easiest swing to swing on, but that actually just starts the festival. So you go down the hill and there is like the Elderado golden arch, which makes you come into the festival. Wow, am I talking like a 5-year-old today? It's really not good. I will say that unlike a major big festival, they do check you for alcohol when you're going in. So, I mean, into the main area of the festival, like let alone getting into the festival. Of course, they're going to check you there, but they're going to check you every time you go into the main entrance. So I suggest if you're going to bring alcohol, put it into a little like plastic bottle that looks like water, and I'm sure they won't notice. It's pretty easy to sneak in. I shouldn't really be giving you tips on this, but I need to, don't I? The aesthetic, it's very, very small. I think it's probably the smallest festival I've ever been to. It's literally just one area, and I think that for what they have is, in terms of space, they did an exceptional job. Like the little like stages were so cute. I mean, of course you have the Cirque du Sol massive tent, then you have Mount Boom, which was like in this little like foresty area, but it wasn't so much a massive forest, it was a tiny little forest area. Really amazing stages. Like it was very low-key compared to Boomtown, for instance, where it's very wow. Like this is like typical like secret garden party. If you guys have been there, very similar to that, but much smaller than that. And you had another stage called, I think it was just called, can't remember, but there was like on this little river, and it was amazing. It was like a pirate ship, and that was really cool. And then you have the main stage and Paradisco, and also the nest, which was in the forest, like a major forest bit. So there was only like 5 areas really that had like music playing, and it was all within distance. You could probably go from one end to the other in about 10 minutes. Like, it was very, very small, but I liked that because it was a nice change compared to the other festivals I've been to. It's about the quantity and the quality of the festival, and with that comes amazing music and crowd. So bear that in mind when I say this, because you will see if you go to a bigger festival like Boomtown, it's just very intense with the people, and I don't know, it depends on what you're into, you know? So if you want something smaller, this is the one for you. If not, then maybe don't go to Elderado. The food. Okay, so I actually really liked what they had. They had quite a big area for food, and although I would say they could have done with more, because it was only one little bit that had it, but they did have a lot of options for me. Although I know, like, my friend Tanisha, basically, she didn't think there was enough. So maybe if you are quite picky, not saying she is, she's not, but if you are someone that's quite picky, maybe you're gonna find it a bit difficult. But they had my vegan sushi there, I was happy. They had like amazing African food, probably the best food I've had at a festival. The burger I had at Burger Theory was the best burger I've ever had in my life, and that is a lot coming from someone that's going out with an American. I really liked the food this year at Elderado. I think it was 10 out of 10. Highly recommend it on the food. Right, the toilets. So the toilets were okay. I think they could have done with more toilets, but then again, I think they were not even close to being as bad, and I didn't even have a VIP. They didn't have a VIP area, which I got really worried about. I was like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do without my VIP area? They told me I could go into the disability toilet, but there was literally just one next to all of them, so anyone could just go in, which is kind of annoying. But they weren't bad. Like, I don't think they smelt that bad at all, and I could go fine. So I mean, I think they were alright, but I think if there was more people, it would have been way worse. But as it's a small festival, not as many people using the loos, not as bad smell. So there you go. So preparation for weather. We had pretty good weather at Elderado. It was so hot for 2 days, and one day it was like, no, one day it was drizzly, but it was not even near bad, and the rest of the days were really hot. So I think, like, I mean, I can't say too much if they prepared for the weather, but the days that it drizzled, it wasn't like bad at all. I didn't get super muddy. It was fine. So I mean, yeah, it was fine when I did. But you've got to prepare for these things when you go to a festival, especially in the UK. You just got to make sure you bring some kind of stuff for rain, because you never know, it probably will rain. Like, it's the UK, so it's gonna happen. So it's more up to you if you prepare yourself than the festival. But I think they did pretty well putting wood chips and everything down just in case if it rained. The music! I think this is probably the best music I have seen at a festival. Probably because I went to this festival knowing that it was going to be purely disco, house and house. And it was just that. Top people that I saw was like Purple Disco Machine, Todd Terry, Melody. Oh, it was so, so good. I absolutely loved it. Like, the music was insane. If you're really into house and disco house, then definitely go there. And also a lot of throwback music from the 80s and 90s. They have a little place that was like a Prince throwback, so they had Prince in there. It was so good, and all these like drag artists in there. Everyone was dancing, everyone had amazing costumes. Like, everyone in the whole festival had good clothing, so make sure you bring nice outfits when you go to Elderado, because it's a very extravagant place. And I did feel like I was in actual Elderado. That's such a cheesy thing for me to say, but like, you leave thinking, what just happened? Like, where did I just go? And you enter in and you're like, it's very magical, and it does what it says on the tin. Like, it literally is magical. But no, I had such a good time. Honestly, it was insane. I loved it. I think this is probably one of the best festivals I've been to date, and this just shows that size does not matter. Honestly, it really doesn't. Like, if you have good music, good people, good vibes, like, and good aesthetic, like, you will do well. And I am so happy I went there instead of Boomtown this year. I really am. I don't even know if I'm gonna go back to Boomtown, just because, like, I enjoyed Elderado so much. But yeah, oh, let me show you the wristband. That was the last thing I was gonna talk about. This is gonna be very important for you guys. Okay, I cut it off, but nice and glittery. Like, they put a lot of money into it, as you can see. There you go. I cut it off. Like We Are Festival, you cannot pay anything at the festival with cash. It's all done with this. So if you have an issue with this, like a lot of people do, but it's so much easier. You don't have to carry cash around, and cash is just like so dangerous at a festival. Like literally you can lose it in like 10 minutes, like, or flush it down the toilet by mistake. Like honestly, it's so much better that they have this. So great wristband. I really like the cashless system. Highly recommend this festival. Best festival I've been to today, and I hope you guys got some insight on it. If you really want to go next year, I probably will be there because I loved it so much this year. I am a little bit worried that the same thing that happened to Boomtown will happen to Elderado, just because I know how much it's grown in the last 2 years, 3 years now. So anyway, let's hope that it stays as small and niche as it is. I think it's the new Secret Garden party, honestly, I really do. I loved it. Definitely gonna be back, and I hope this was informative for you guys in any way. I'm gonna go now, but don't forget to like and subscribe. It's very important, and thank you guys so much for your support. It means a lot, and anything you want to ask, just put it below. I will answer it because I know you guys are so interested in festivals. And yeah, I'm gonna go. I'll see you guys later. Bye bye.